friends, and welcome back to Inner Health Journey. Today I thought I'd bring you along as I processed our homegrown apples. We planted this apple tree about 4 years ago, and this is our first year that we got a small harvest off of it. Our other apple tree did not produce any apples, so I'm excited to have these homegrown apples for the first time. The apple cores will just go out to the chickens. That will be a nice treat for them. Next, we're going to go ahead and mix our dry ingredients together in this bowl. The recipe calls for 2½ cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm also going to add some of this. It's called Tumeric Twist Sweet Blend. So this has turmeric, cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, black pepper, ginger, clove, and organic rice concentrate. But turmeric is very good for inflammation, so I'm going to go ahead and try adding some of that to it this time to see how it tastes. We're just going to whisk these ingredients together so they're all mixed together. Okay, in this bowl we're going to add our other ingredients. 3/4 cup vegetable oil. I use the Sun cocoa oil. 1 1/4 cup sugar. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla. 2 large eggs. The beeping you heard in the background was that my oven was at temperature. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees. And 1 cup milk. And we will just whisk these ingredients together. Okay, the next step is we're going to put the wet ingredients in with the dry ingredients and stir it together. Next, we're going to add our diced apples. And we're going to mix that all together. I've greased a muffin tin. This is the jumbo muffin tin. I'll take my ice cream scoop and fill the muffin pan. You want to fill these 3/4 full. Okay, I'm going to put these in the oven and bake them for 25 to 30 minutes. I'm just pulling out the muffins. They've been in the oven for 25 minutes and they feel like they are done. Let's go ahead and grab a toothpick just to make sure. Yep, they are done. I'm just going to let them cool on the cooling rack. Okay, the next way that I'm going to preserve our apples is to make some apple butter. The recipe again calls for peeling the apples, and I'm just going to immersion blend at the end so the peels will get blended in. So I'm just going to leave the peels on. So it calls for 5 pounds of apples thinly sliced. So this is my first time making apple butter. Usually I get it from my mother-in-law. So this is the crock pot version. So since I had all these apples, I thought I would try the recipe. And there is our 5 pounds of sliced apples. Okay, in my bowl I have 3 cups of sugar, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. One-fourth teaspoon of cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and again I am going to be adding this turmeric twist as well, about 1/2 teaspoon, and I'm just going to mix that all together. Okay, the recipe then calls for us to put the apples and the cinnamon and sugar into the crock pot, and it says to layer them. So we're going to begin by layering our apples. So we'll put 1/3 of the apples on the bottom. We'll go ahead and sprinkle some of the sugar, 1/3 of the sugar. And the last 1/3 of the apples. Now that we got our apples and sugar layered into the crock pot, we'll take it over, turn it on high, and cook it for 1 hour. After the hour's up, we'll come and give it a stir, and then we will turn it down to low and cook it for 8 hours. Okay, since I have some apples left over, I'm going to go ahead and make another batch of apple muffins. This time what I'm going to do is use these wheat berries and use fresh milled flour. This is 330 grams of wheat berries. We're just going to go ahead and get our dry ingredients together for the muffins again. The only difference I'm going to do with this fresh milled flour versus the store-bought flour is let the flour soak in the moisture for a little bit, and then I will add my apples. Okay, the muffins have cooled. This was the store-bought flour, and this was the fresh milled flour side. I'll put a picture up here to show you what the inside of the muffins look like. Okay, as you can see, the store-bought flour versus the fresh milled flour, definitely these ones did rise a little bit more. Comparing taste, I thought the fresh milled flour had more flavor than the other. If you try this recipe, leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of the recipe, and also if you have any hints or tricks to working with fresh milled flour, leave a comment down below as well. At this point, our apples have been cooking for an hour on high. We're gonna go ahead and turn our crock pot down to low, let them cook for an additional 8 hours, and we will also give them a stir. They already smell amazing. Okay, I'll bring you back after the 8 hours of cooking on low. The apples have been cooking for several hours now, and we will go ahead and take our immersion blender and blend up the stewed apples. Now that we're done immersion blending this, we will cook this on low for an hour without the lid. We've cooked this apple butter for an hour without the lid, and now we will go ahead and can this up. I'm leaving about an inch headspace. Now I'm going to wipe the rims with vinegar. Once the water starts to boil, we will water bath can those for 10 minutes. With the apples that we started in the beginning of the video, we've made 7 pints of apple butter and 18 muffins. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my channel for more videos like this. Have a great day. Bye.